watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to KENS 5. If you're up this early, obviously, you might be getting ready for the day ahead with some family or friends, or, you know, maybe you're working on the holiday.
However you're choosing to spend it, thank you for joining us this Christmas morning. And today, we're doing things a little differently, sharing some of our favorite stories from this year. We're
beginning with something very San Antonio, you know, the Alamo and the missions, but have you ever visited Casa Navarro?
KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno has more on this Texas historical site whose story is being moved forward thanks in part to descendants still living in San Antonio today.
If you blink, you'll miss this Texas historical site.
Well, it has a very interesting history that many people don't know about.
Casa Navarro, an 1800s adobe-style home nestled between downtown buildings and construction, has survived the evolution of our city.
Luckily, Casa Navarro received historical designations that prevent the demolition of this site, unlike the rest of the Ladrito neighborhood.
But its history and that of its owner, merchant and Texas patriot Jose Antonio Navarro, are what make this Texas historical site so special.
He was a representative of San Antonio de Bexar for much of his life.
One of two Tejanos to sign the Texas Declaration of Independence, Navarro fought with his pen in this landscape that was rapidly changing.
One of his main efforts was to ensure that Tejano people had the right to vote when becoming a part of the Texas Republic and later the United States.
His writings helping us to understand the unique perspective of Tejanos during this time in history.
He wrote about the Battle of the Medina. He wrote about what was happening after the Alamo. These all coming from the Tejano perspective. So it's very unique in its own right.
This written history surviving much and thanks to Navarro's descendants.
We were little girls and my grandmother would bring us and she said, this is the home of, it would be her great-grandfather. My grandmother was so proud that she was a Navarro, and that's in my heart. Then I remember being out in the courtyard with my mother and my grandmother and my siblings.
Sandy Salinas and her son Troy, descendants and members of the Friends of Navarro group, who have been dedicated to not only keeping Navarro's name alive, but also ensuring he's mentioned in the history books.
You'll see the exhibits that are designed to bring those children that are studying Texas history, to bring them to the house to learn about the Tejano portion of it, the Hispanic influence. For many years was lost in the textbooks. And so I think that's what we just gotta be out there more, telling those stories, educating people about the beauty of the house and the history of Navarro and all those people that fought for what we live today in Texas.
Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
Call it the face of hope. Earlier this year, this young owl was found abandoned on the ground, laying on the south side where Arboretum San Antonio will soon be developed. A young girl named Matilda helped get the bird to a rehabilitation facility and got it to be there again when the now mature bird was able to take flight. KENS 5 Sue Kalberg has a story of rising against the odds.
What do you think right here on the edge of this hill?
On a fabulous fall afternoon in a space that is becoming a sanctuary.
So this is a juvenile barred owl. This is the one that was found here.
Two owls, one that took a fall and another that broke a wing.
Take this band off. This is just to identify the bird inside her center.
The grass was very tall, like this big.
What began as a girl exploring with her dad.
We heard the chirping sound.
And the arborist who was surveying trees.
And she's like, Dad, look down. And there was this little baby owl on the ground underneath this 60-foot tall pecan tree.
There was the barred owl that couldn't be returned to its nest, that got a second chance to live free.
Oh. Yeah. He's just scared, and that's the sound he makes when he's scared.
Anybody have anything else they want to say to this owl before he goes?
Live a full and happy life.
Okay, here you go.
Send it.
After a short test flight, and a chance to ruffle all the feathers into place.
This one's gonna live. Like that's pretty cool.
With a forever keepsake.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my necklace that has a bunch of like special stuff.
At KENS5.com, you'll find a link to Last Chance Forever, the Bird of Prey Conservancy, just in case you want to be involved in the next life-saving adventure. At the future site of the Arboretum, Sue Kalberg, KENS5.
Now, we've seen people chasing tornadoes, chasing hurricanes, but have you ever met an eclipse chaser? When the Great American Eclipse passed over South Texas in April, Dr. Kate Russo, an Australian eclipse chaser, was in town for the totality, and she sat down with Ryan Shoptaw.
With the eclipse moving over South Texas on Saturday, many are traveling to San Antonio, including Dr. Kate Russo, an author, psychologist, and an eclipse chaser.
I travel around the world to see total solar eclipses. Anywhere there is a total solar eclipse, I am there. That's what I do in my spare time. That's my life. That's the scaffold of my life for now, in future, until I cannot chase anymore.
Kate has traveled the world, witnessing solar eclipses in France, Mongolia, Madagascar, and many more.
13 total solar eclipses, and that's over a period of about 24 years now. And I've seen 2 annular eclipses. So you've got an annular coming up very soon, and then you've got a total eclipse next year. So you guys are just so lucky that you actually are in the crossroads of these 2 eclipses.
The main difference between the solar eclipse this weekend and the one next year in April is the amount of sunlight.
Only about 91% of the sun is covered. And it sounds like it's a lot, doesn't it? But in fact, the sun is so bright.
Since this eclipse creates the ring of fire, sunlight is still reaching our eyes, which can damage your vision quickly, versus a total solar eclipse where the entire sun is blocked.
But whenever you're directly looking at the sun, you must use your solar filters. Yes, and get them early, because you need to make sure that they're safe, they're reliable, they're not damaged. So it's really important that you get them.
And as she travels around the globe, she also holds workshops, seminars, and presentations preparing the community for the solar eclipse.
When I visit now, it's not just going as a tourist. I go with the intention of working within these communities, helping people understand, working with the Chambers of Commerce, tourism industries. So on the Saturday, we're all experiencing the annular together, and on the Sunday, we are showcasing the total solar eclipse that's happening next April.
Dr. Russo encourages everyone to travel into the path of totality at least once in their lives, to experience the dark like you have never seen it before. Ryan Shoptaw, KENS5.
Still ahead this morning, a local teacher uses his energy to engage. Coming up, we head to the South Side to meet our Excel Award winner who's finding new ways to educate.
My favorite holiday memory is back from my childhood. My family would put on a talent show every single year featuring all of the cousins, and they would show off the skills they had learned that year. Maybe your family does something similar. I would love to know more about it. But for now, I hope you have a blessed holiday and Merry Christmas from KENS5.
In this Excel Award, we take you to Lozoya Middle School, where a teacher is transforming the art of reading. Cameron Tofino's love for pop culture makes for unforgettable lessons and inspires students to dive into a world of imagination.
Sarah Fergani introduces us to our KENS5 Excel Award for Southside ISD.
Okay, we're going to start off with our Soldier's Creed.
Cameron Tofino is on a mission.
I will always place the mission first.
First, a boot camp to prep for exams.
It's a lot, right?
Tofino's language arts class at Lozoya Middle sets the bar high, not just for students.
The curriculum is gargantuan. We have a lot to do as Texas teachers.
Tejano constantly turning captivating lessons.
Which one is it?
He's energetic, very energetic. There's some boring teachers out there, you know.
Not Tejano, a man who loves cinema and music. From the looks of your classroom, there's a lot of movie stuff in here.
We call it Reading with Cinema.
You've got Selena, Barbie, you're a big Barbie fan.
Huge Barbie fan. During October is Anti-Bullying Month. There is a character known as Weird Barbie who is sort of isolated, and teaching about anti-bullying was showing the scenes from that and how we can learn to be kinder.
A Lady Gaga fan and a proud Swiftie, Tejano sprinkles the class with all sorts of ways to bond with his kids.
Emily, go to the next slide.
He tries to make it more fun and more exciting for us.
Students say Tejano's strategy makes reading less monotonous and more memorable.
How to make a mental movie of what they read, and that incorporates the 5 senses.
It helps break down the story to understand it even more.
It's not so much as it's art, it's more of a visualization of what they've been reading.
This is all students' work that I'm seeing around on the walls.
Over in that area, you'll see, you know, Bluey or Minions or Lightning McQueen.
This classroom, this is what makes me want to go to school.
We're gonna be fine on this exam, okay?
Watching these 7th graders evolve like a good story with a beginning, middle, and end.
And I just want to see them to do their best, and I know that they could reach their best potential.
Sarah Forgani, KENS 5.
We're hitting the ice at UTSA. I got a chance to catch the school's hockey team practice. Even got to suit up and play with them. We'll show you, well, maybe you don't want to see me skate. Next.
Welcome back in. A San Antonio teen uses his Eagle Scout project to give back to those in need. KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno has more on this kid who makes San Antonio great.
Most weekends, you can find Edward Carr tending to his orchard, making sure his peach, pear, apple, and grapefruit trees are getting the water they need, and picking the vegetables from his garden boxes once ripe. It was during the height of COVID this Eagle Scout realized the need for fresh food in his community.
I realized that there were a lot of people who were going for food banks and stuff. And I noticed that a lot of the times there was fruit and vegetables at the food banks, but they weren't always the freshest.
So when it came time for Edward to think of his Eagle Scout project, it was clear to him that he needed to get to planting. His dad and scout leader, Michael Carr, impressed with his idea for a free community orchard.
It's a great cause, and it definitely has long-lasting effects for not only Edward, but for the community.
But the project came with some challenges. Edward's orchard sits on the property of Resurrection United Methodist Church on the far southeast side, and the well there needed some costly work. So Edward reached out to local company Stevens Drilling, who jumped on the chance to help.
It's really awesome to see young people out today working with their hands, learning how to do stuff like this, and just the whole idea behind giving back to the community was really awesome. So it was hard to look away from. It's a great thing to do.
Thanks to the partnership, his trees slowly but surely yielding fruit for anyone who may need it.
There have definitely been people who have taken interest in this little project. And so I hope that very soon it'll spread. It maybe just grabs more attention as the trees get bigger, and more people are going to be able to come in and benefit from this.
Making Edward Carr a kid who makes San Antonio great. Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
San Antonio's not had a hockey team since the Rampage was sold in 2020, but hockey is back. UTSA now has a hockey team, and I got to hit the ice with them earlier this year.
People will come by and be like, UTSA has a hockey team?
Yes, the Roadrunners are back on Boots and Blades. It's club hockey, but it's full-on, fast-paced, hard-hitting college hockey.
We lost our team for UTSA about 10 years ago, so it was just kind of the urge to play the sport that I love again, pushed me to put the team back together.
Noah Dow was one of the driving forces behind the effort, led by students to restart the program.
Luckily, I met some really great guys like Joshua Lacomite, who came in and helped me put the team together, helped me find other players, and we just kind of recruited from there, and it just took off.
Took off enough, the team has games scheduled against Texas Tech, the University of Houston, and their home opener was against LSU.
They score. It's about us getting to know each other, pulling together as a team, and becoming the best team that we possibly can be with what we got.
So, of course, I had to suit up and see what it was all about, which I quickly knew was a mistake.
I want this winger being smart. I either want him dishing to the center.
These guys were zipping around so fast, it made me dizzy.
I want the defenseman pinching. It's a pinch drill, all right?
The only thing pinched was me against the wall because I couldn't stop. I have no idea where I'm going. The things they can do on ice with a stick and a puck had me sucking wind pretty quickly.
Give me some water. In my mouth. That's not quite it.
And they weren't even breathing hard. It's sharp turns, quick stops, fast starts, grab the puck, skate down the ice, then before I could even get there, they're back at the other end starting another drill. Dow says they're already talking with some international players, hoping to bring in enough talent to, within a couple of years, be really competitive.
I think that they enjoy that the kids are getting together and playing competitive sports. I really do. They're supportive of it.
You know, everybody loves Raymond's. At least that's the talk around town on the South Side. We check out the joint's big flavors being served up ahead in our neighborhood eats.
Everybody loves Raymond's, burgers and more.
The far South Side spot is serving up all sorts of sizzlers, including cheeseburgers, enchiladas, even chicken fried steak. And guess what? You can count on it to meet your expectations.
KENS 5's Justin Calderon checking it out in Neighborhood Eats.
But I'd say our 6 inch is probably a little over a pound of meat.
This week it's flavors galore.
You're looking at about 4 slices of cheese for the actual burger.
If your appetite is huge, it knows the score. You're gonna find out why everyone loves Raymond's, hamburgers, and more. Originally Alicia's Mexican restaurant that was opened in 1991, Raymond Diaz took his family's restaurant to sizzling new heights 10 years ago. On the far South Side.
Started off as breakfast and lunch kind of taqueria, deep South Side. Now we're 90% hamburgers and Tex-Mex food. Everybody always liked our burgers, so we just expanded the burger menu from there, and now we're at like 30 different options of burgers.
The name says more, and you'll find it with daily specials and a variety of other menu items.
We have a steak day on Tuesday. We do chicken fried steak. Some days we'll do a daily special barbecue. We'll do turkey plates on Thursdays. A little bit of everything.
With long hours, an ever-changing menu, and a homely dining area, why not make that drive to the South Side? Let's kick it off with this hearty chicken fried steak.
It's like about like an inch right there, man.
This ginormous brisket cheddar burger.
Look at how big that is right there. Oh, it's so good.
How about these cheese enchiladas with a nice ribeye steak?
Wow.
And let's top it off with some carne asada fries.
I mean, this is an entree right here by itself.
Yeah. You want the best burgers in San Antonio? We're here on 18600 Pleasanton Road, 6 miles outside 410, 2 miles before 1604.
Justin Calderon, KENS 5 Neighborhood Eats.
Hey, listen up. You know, gift cards might be under the tree this year. And did you know CBS News says many of those gift cards aren't even being used?
A survey from the personal finance site Bankrate found 43% of Americans have unused gift cards, gift vouchers, or store credit. That adds up to an average of $244 each. Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman says it's not just the recipient's fault.
Some thought into the store or restaurant that you're giving. Pick a place that your recipient likes. The gift card can be targeted. You just have to put some thought into what you're giving.
Card Cash pays around 80% of the gift card's value. Another site called GCX.Raise hosts a marketplace to sell cards. There's a 15% fee when someone buys it. But the simplest solution may be just use it.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful.
That was TikToker Jules LeBron launching the demure trend that took off earlier this year. Dictionary.com even named demure as its word of the year. Their definition characterizes it as shyness and modesty or being reserved. Jules, known as Julianne on TikTok, said her version of demure isn't just about appearance. She added, it's a statement of self-awareness and confidence.
I'm quite demure.
That you are, Barry. I think maybe we can all think about that, having that demureness with us as we head into a new year.
It can be a very good trait, that's for sure. Hey, a dramatic rescue on Highway 90 was caught on camera. How an off-duty firefighter helped save the life of a man from a burning car.
You're watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
It is 5 a.m. on this Christmas morning. Welcome to KENS 5. Thank you so much for spending part of your morning with us.
And you know, this morning we're diving into some of our favorite stories of the year, including high school grads with a world of opportunity once they cross the stage to get that diploma, but now more and more looking at delaying or even skipping college to make some serious change.
Plus, one state park here in San Antonio, or in the area anyway, giving visitors more space to explore nature. We're going to head back to Enchanted Rock State Park to look at some new land they've recently acquired. But we're going to begin with a dramatic rescue in the middle of Highway 90.
A group of Good Samaritans working to save a driver stuck inside a burning car. With just minutes to spare, the right person drove by.
KENS 5 Alicia Nieves has the story many may consider divine timing.
And I wasn't even supposed to be at work that day. That was just overtime.
Around sunrise Saturday morning, Chase Morales was on his way to work. He's a firefighter with Bexar County Emergency Services, District 2.
Because I live in Houston, so I drive 3.5 hours to work.
As he approached Callahan on Highway 90, traffic was at a standstill. That's when he saw a car on fire and jumped out.
There was a whole bunch of people screaming a lot of things because, I mean, everyone's running around trying to get the guy out. Plus, they were trying not to get burned. So.
He said an ICU nurse was among the group trying to save the driver.
She said he had rolled his car a couple of times, 1 or 2 times. And so his windows were busted out when he came back down to his tires, so it was wide open.
Morales tried, but he couldn't pull the man out either.
He was semi-conscious. He was kind of in and out of it. Once we got to the window, he was kind of moaning and reaching, and then he would pass back out.
He had to cut the seatbelt. Then he unlocked the door.
As soon as I grabbed him on his armpits, there was like 5 more people on me, and then we just pulled him out.
He believes if just 2 more minutes passed, the flames would have reached the driver.
He probably had an additional 2 minutes maybe, because once we got him to the feeder, it was already in his driver's seat when we drug him over.
Morales commends the bravery of the initial group of civilians who selflessly stopped on the highway to save a stranger, who, minutes later, was taken to the hospital. Alicia Nieves, KENS 5.
Parents, if you have a child in college right now, you certainly know how expensive it is to go to school. And the price of education just continues to keep going up.
Yeah, some are skipping or maybe delaying college altogether. KENS 5's Jeremy Baker shows us how many are now pursuing alternative routes that can bring in the bucks right out of high school.
Many college students rack up tens of thousands of dollars in loans for college. So is making money instead of spending money right out of high school a better way to go? We find out if it's college or bust. Derek Anthony is a senior at John Marshall High School, and Sadie Nuno just graduated from Northside last year. Derek is in the LMS program at the school. That's law, medical, and science. Derek is working towards his CNA certification while in high school and plans to go into nursing.
I plan personally to go to a hospital or a resident home, whichever one.
Nuno got a job to train as a pharmacy tech right out of high school.
A week after I graduated, I got my first offer from CVS, and then about a month later, I started actually working.
Both students know college can be expensive and plan to do more education in the future, but know for many it isn't necessarily needed.
I just feel like certain specialties do need a degree, but I don't think that you absolutely have to go to college to be successful.
I do think it's needed to get different degrees you want. Like me, go to medical school, do all the schooling I need.
The Pew Research Center says 1 in 4 U.S. adults say it's extremely or very important to have a 4-year college degree to get a well-paying job. About 1 in 2 say it's less important to have a 4-year college degree than 20 years ago. And about 1 out of 5 say the cost of getting a 4-year college degree today is worth it, even if you have to take out loans.
These industry-based certifications are not high school certifications. They're post-secondary, they're nationally recognized, and so they really can go and get a job that people have as an 18-year-old graduating high school.
Forbes says for those with in-state tuition in 2022 to 2023, the average cost of attending a public 4-year institution was $27,100 for students living on campus. For a private, for-profit school, the cost averaged $33,600. But a nonprofit college was the highest, with a total for 4 years of $58,600. At Marshall High School, students not only get the training for free, but they bring the jobs to the students too.
We have job fairs at the end of the year in April and May. We had one for our health science where we had CVS. We had several of the local hospitals come in.
So how do you know if you can afford college? Forbes says keep these 3 factors in mind when considering school. What are your career goals? Does the school you're eyeing offer a strong program in your area of interest? And how much would you pay for tuition and other expenses? Both of our students believe they're taking the right track to a successful career.
I do think it does give me a leg up because in my future I do want to eventually be a pediatrician. So I think being in this program, being in LMS, taking the nursing class, is giving me that extra edge that I need.
So I do think that it's very beneficial to, take the opportunity that there is right in front of your face and, see where it can take you.
For more about these programs offered at the Northside ISD, just go to this story on KENS5.com. Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.
A kid's love for math and science has helped him lead his robotics team in international competitions. KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno introduces us to another kid who makes San Antonio great.
Problem solving is what Haddon Malikoff loves about robotics.
I love the STEM aspect.
Competing with this team, the microchips in queso, makes this pastime even better.
I enjoy just the struggle of competing, the challenge of pitting yourself and your team against other people, and the adrenaline that comes with that.
Joining the team as a freshman, he didn't always know where to focus his math and science skills.
My whole life, me and my family have felt like I was relatively good at math and science, but I never really enjoyed math or science by themselves. But coming into robotics allowed me to see that there are fun applications of these subjects. And so I intend to go into engineering, potentially specifically into robotics.
As a senior now, he stepped in as team captain to help guide his teammates during their first year of competition.
Haddon brings a lot of positivity to our team, and he is able to learn and also teach at the same time.
The team made up of 7th graders to high school age, making it all the way to the World's competition, where they competed against all 50 states and 40 different countries.
You have to be unified. You have to be all approaching the same goal, sometimes from different angles. But even then, you're still unified. You're all approaching that same point to try and get there as fast as possible.
Him being team captain and representing us at the area and state and world levels was really cool to see.
The microchips in queso ranking 11th out of 40 teams in their division. His eagerness to lead with a compassionate heart while sharing his love for STEM is what makes Haddon Malikoff a kid who makes San Antonio great. Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
Hey, we're blessed in Texas to have 89 state parks and recreation areas, and one recently grew by about 25% thanks to hunter and fishermen across the state. I headed back out to Enchanted Rock State Park for this Texas Outdoors.
The land is absolutely beautiful because you can have some incredible views from that property, seeing Enchanted Rock.
I think I'm gonna run.
I don't know how the view of Enchanted Rock from any angle could get more beautiful. From the top, you can easily see 10 miles or more. When you look to the south, you can see the new 634 acres.
Saw the for sale sign, took a picture of it, sent it up to Austin, and the rest is history.
Park Superintendent Doug Cochran said he was driving to work one day and saw the ranch next to the park was for sale, but never dreamed it would happen so quickly.
Not everyone makes the cut. This one did, and the citizens of Texas are the winners.
We can't really see yet how much we won, at least not up close. Right now, only Parks and Wildlife employees are allowed on the property.
It's not real quick. It could take 6 months or longer to do that because we want to make sure we do it right.
No one knows what that plan is yet either. Parks and Wildlife will get input from the public, then put the plan together.
Well, that'd be fantastic if they can save this land, preserve it, and still give the outdoorsmen a place to go and be, because everything's always so privatized and you can't, set foot on anything because it's somebody else's.
Folks who were at the top of Enchanted Rock were excited knowing what's coming. The money came from the sporting goods sales tax, which was passed in 2019 specifically for cases like this.
I think it's a good investment when it comes up right beside a park. I think that's a great time to buy.
It also now preserves a stretch of land right along a paved road, which could have easily become a subdivision.
You come around 965 and you see that valley and you see Enchanted Rock and you see everything leading up to it, and it's all going to be protected.
Protected, but soon this fence may come down and we'll be able to walk across that 634 acres just like it's ours.
Tejano stars back on stage. Jennifer Pena and another popular throwback group back under the bright lights. We hear from the artists about making their return to the music scene.
Plus, it's a game of skill and luck. We'll show you the ancient tile game that is making a comeback and tell you how you can join in on the fun in San Antonio.
Hitting play after a long pause, two Tejano music talents back under the bright lights. Jennifer Pena finally back on the big stage.
And who else is back? The Tejano supergroup, very popular in the 90s, Culturas. Henry Ramos chats it up with both acts.
Taking it back in time, the early 90s, the peak for Tejano music. The beats, the catchy tunes. The crowded concerts, the energy was electric, like the performances on stage. But in order to go back in time, we had to roll out and dust off the KENS 5 archives.
Productions presents Jennifer Pena y los Jets.
12-year-old Jennifer Pena, the then young star known as the Tejano princess, commanded the stage with her talent. In the early 90s, Pena was said to be the next Selena. At the time, KENS 5 spoke to her on different occasions. She made one thing clear.
I'm not the next Selena. I want to be known as Jennifer Pena.
Pena went on to have a stellar career with hit after hit, becoming an international star, until she went on a very long pause.
What has Jennifer Pena been up to?
In those 13 years, I was a stay-at-home mom, expanding my family.
For more than a decade, she focused on being mom. She's now a mother of 5.
Was there always that itch to come back?
I was content at home with my family. I was fulfilled in a lot of ways. Yeah, obviously was something missing, right? Because the first opportunity I got, I'm like, hey, I'm back, I will come back. Let me in. No, I'm just kidding.
Pena is back. She doesn't call it a comeback, but more of a return.
I was born to be a mother, but being on stage, part of what I was born to do. It's part of my destiny.
Another throwback that is back on play, the Tejano show-stopping group Culturas, the high-energy band's frontrunners, Delia Gonzalez and Dee Burleson.
Through the years, they've always been after us. Come back, at least do one more. When are you going to get together?
And we finally said, you know what? We've still got one more in us. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We chatted with the group in the same studio where they made their first album in 1992, and now in 2024. Their latest album's fitting title, 9224.
It's not like a comeback. We're not trying to do a comeback. It's just a project.
Let's rewind back to the 90s. The band was big. They were recognized as Show Band of the Year. Delia and Dee had a chemistry on stage that was untouched.
There are people right around Henry's age, they were in diapers when their abuelas were dancing to culturas. And so now you wonder, they've been told this legend about, this legendary band. And we were just a band having fun.
The two are quick to say they are not going on tour, but will do upcoming shows.
We're just happy that we are able to just do it one more time.
Even though time has passed, for these two acts, the love remains for the music and the love for their fans.
Our fans tell us that we're great. It's just, to us, it's just, this is what we do.
Only God knows what my future holds, but I'm going full force with everything and enjoying everything he has in store for me.
All right, you've maybe seen it played in movies like The Joy Luck Club or Crazy Rich Asians.
But an ancient Chinese game having a resurgence right here in the U.S., and San Antonio is also getting in on the fun.
KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno shows us this game of skill.
Mahjong starts with the shuffling of tiles.
Mahjong is actually Chinese for sparrow. And so when you shuffle the tiles, that is supposed to be the sound of sparrows fluttering. So it's one of my favorite sounds.
But this isn't your grandmother's game of Mahjong.
We did not invent Mahjong. We are just here to share our love of Mahjong with you.
This is our Texas set.
From the new colorful tiles,
dots, cracks, bands,
to the fun gear. But because there are 1,500 ways
9 dots
to Mahjong this year.
One bird bam. Cheers! The whole point of Mahjong is to have fun.
The game of Mahjong is getting back into the mainstream. Today, you may start with the lesson from the Maj Social Club.
Am I ever going to Mahjong? Can I Mahjong?
Or Troop Mahjong.
Happy Mahjong.
Tonight we're going to go over 101, which is our beginner lesson, and this is where we teach you about these tiles, about the rules.
So we're going to pass 3 tiles.
These women learning the game themselves
7 bam.
around the time COVID struck.
Just remember kind of either the section or...
Coming out of COVID, people are really craving that connections. They want to make friends, but it can be a little hard and intimidating to meet people in adulthood as friends. So I think Mahjong really breaks down that barrier, takes away the element of small talk. You just sit at the table and you're able to relax, play the game, and then the natural conversations kind of flow.
Then becoming instructors themselves.
Look at what you have right now.
We feel the joy when somebody Mahjongs. We're helping guide them there.
And it's not an easy game by any means.
There are no dumb questions in Mahjong, but in this game, you really are you're having to focus and concentrate and delayed gratification.
2 blanks.
A game of skill as much as it's a game of luck.
I think it's not as hard once you see it going. So this is the next wall coming out.
Yes, it will be a little overwhelming and it will be confusing, but stick with it.
Choosing a run and working your brain, proven to have hidden benefits to playing.
The National Mahjong League, which was started in New York, actually gives proceeds back to the Alzheimer's Association because research has been done showing that if you play Mahjong, it helps prolong dementia and Alzheimer's, which is so important.
Just go for it.
So whether you're playing to keep your mind fresh or just to enjoy a game night with friends,
I would encourage people to try something new, try the game.
Get started, go play, go have fun.
Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
If you want to learn the game or the rules and check out the open play nights right here in San Antonio, head over to KENS5.com and click on this story.
Well, a local restaurant preserving a long history while serving up some delicious meals and decadent desserts. We're gonna hit up the rails up to Kerrville to sample the spread.
My favorite memory as a kid on Christmas was walking downstairs and seeing all the presents under the tree with the lights on before anybody else got up before sunrise, sleeping underneath the tree. It was such a warm feeling. I hope everybody gets that this season. Happy holidays from myself and from KENS 5.
Our KENS 5 Neighborhood Eats team hitting the road to Kerrville.
Simone Simpson takes us to Rails for a bite of their rich cakes and creamy pastas.
Well, you know, they always say start with dessert.
All aboard! Fasten your taste buds for a variety of tastes. This restaurant is a fully restored historic 1915 Kerrville train depot. Now let's see if the food is off the rails in the best way. Choo-choo!
This last May was our 20th year.
Don't blink or you'll miss it. Melissa Southern owns Rails with her husband, John.
We're also really lucky that we are around some other buildings that we've little by little renovated and used as a different type of business.
Including a bakery, the sweeter side of Rails, a bed and breakfast, and an old lumber yard which has been turned to an events hall.
Sometimes we'll have people from, from Europe in here, and then we'll have people from San Antonio.
It's the small town feel but international flavor that keeps customers coming back for more, including the farmer's market salad, complete with walnuts, green apples, goat cheese, and grilled chicken breast. You taste the sweetness, you taste the tanginess, but most of all, it's fresh.
Yes.
Now let's try an entree, the creamy penne pasta dish with asparagus and roasted bell peppers. It gives you a little kick.
It does. At the end of your meal, we present a large dessert tray that has about 18 different freshly made items from our bakery,
including the salted caramel espresso cake, complete with dark fudge chocolate and dark chocolate ganache frosting. Listen, the depth in layers was certainly savory.
I mean, this is like my favorite chocolate cake I've ever had.
Next, the pina colada cake.
I feel like I'm in the Caribbean or something.
The next trip you take, mosey down to Rails in Kerrville for your next pit stop. Reporting from Kerrville, Simone Simpson, Neighborhood Eats.
Hey, don't forget, you can catch all of our Neighborhood Eats specials on KENS 5 Plus. So if you're looking for a new restaurant to check out, all you have to do is download the KENS 5 Plus app. It's available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
The city of Windcrest is shining bright for the holiday season. The community flipped on their iconic Christmas light displays December 3rd, and if you haven't done it yet, be sure to check out their stunning displays. Now this year, Windcrest is celebrating 65 years of the light up tradition. I went out, I checked it out. It's absolutely amazing, you guys. This year's theme is Blue Sapphire, so you can certainly expect to see lots of blues in those stunning displays.
And this time of year is known as the season of giving, and today you have the opportunity to help make some animals' holiday dreams come true. The San Antonio Zoo inviting the community to be a part of the animals' lives through their Amazon wish list. It's a beloved tradition to contribute to the well-being of the animals until the end of 2024. And this year, there's a little bit of everything from fun, scent-filled spices to portable boom boxes for lively playtime. You can find a link to the wish list on their website, sazoo.org.
And speaking of giving back, a local radio station going above and beyond for its listeners. We'll show you just how Owl Radio became an important resource for those who are visually impaired.
You're watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. Welcome to KENS 5. However you're spending today, I want to just thank you for joining us on this Christmas morning and hope you're having a happy holiday already.
Yeah, hopefully starting off with some good food. That's always a good way to start. And today we are sharing some of our absolute favorite stories from this year.
An 8-year-old boy is fighting for his life despite less than a 5% chance of survival. We were with him as he crosses off a bucket list adventure.
Plus, local treasure hunters finding pieces of San Antonio's past, and they say artifacts like these may be closer than you think. Keeping up to date on everything across San Antonio can be a challenge, especially for those who may need help reading or even watching the news.
But there's one radio station that is going beyond everything for their listeners. KENS 5's Ron Yakor takes us behind the scenes.
At Owl Radio, it's prep time.
Usually we try to do all of the front page and at least 2 or 3 stories.
I skim through them ahead of time so that I can emphasize different points. I need to be wary of a certain name that is difficult to pronounce.
So by 9 a.m.,
Hello and welcome to Owl Radio.
they're on the air.
Will council ask voters to raise pay? Once you've been doing it for a while, you get in a rhythm.
Lisa Fagan, spokesperson for the city of Wildwood.
Owl Radio has been a resource to the visually impaired since 2002.
Garza recently participated in a paid tour. I imagine them being at home listening on the radio or on their computers or some other device and getting the news, which they wouldn't be able to get visually.
The exodus of Palestinians from Gaza
Larry Roser is an avid listener.
as Israeli forces pushed.
Before Owl Radio ever came on the air, I had to have the people read the paper, but now when I have the Owl Radio read the paper, it is so much better.
I always thought it was such a beautiful building, Garza said.
It gives independence to Roser and others who lack sight.
Just go inside and look around.
And lets them know they're not alone.
Recently,
It's like having them, the readers, sit in my living room.
The other was.
That's how good it is.
That second jet was.
And volunteers feel that connection too.
With the Air Forces, as I'm reading, I'm kind of pretending that the person is sitting in front of me.
It will soon be up to City Council to
It's a legacy left by Bonnie Truax, who was losing her vision and established Owl Radio more than 2 decades ago.
She was excited for the chance.
Now it's a daily companion to hundreds across the city.
With its distinctive. I feel like they're my friends, even though I've never met them in person.
Lottery vendors aided win of jackpot.
Owl Radio's mission is to provide listeners with current news they'd have a hard time finding elsewhere.
95 million. You get a new story every time you come, so it's a lot of fun. Combination.
Ron Yakor.
Nearly all those tickets were
KENS
sold
5.
by only 4 outlets.
A local boy is fighting for his life every day, despite less than a 5% chance of survival after a relapse from brain cancer. He's choosing, though, to live every single day of life to the fullest. KENS 5 Simone Simpson went to Castroville to watch him cross off a thrilling adventure from his bucket list.
After hours of chemo and 6 months of planning, this is the largest bucket item list for this 8-year-old's life. Paxton Idell will be parachuting from the sky.
He is just a loving, just funny kid.
An adventurous kid, Paxton isn't fearful of most things adults wouldn't dare to try, like paragliding.
The words that he said to me was, I've never done that my whole life, and my mom heart just kind of dropped. And that actually kind of set the precedent for everything that's happened since.
The next adventure on his list, skydiving.
They're very strict in the US about no kids under the age of 18 parachuting. So it's getting attorneys involved, the equipment manufacturers involved.
This wasn't Paxton's toughest challenge. He was originally diagnosed in 2021 with brain cancer when he was 5.
After intensive chemotherapy, he ended up being cancer-free for about a year. And then on 4/5/2023, he relapsed.
Amanda says a relapse of this particular cancer is terminal.
Given his condition, it's hard for us to say no to anything.
That's his father, Christian.
I am hoping he gets anything and everything that he wants.
Tandem instructor in Castroville, Noah Watts will be flying with Paxton.
And this is definitely a compassion jump for him.
Taking a nosedive into caution, Paxton prepares to suit up with his dad. There he goes. Sticking the landing, Paxton has added another memory he will never forget.
Honestly, whatever happens, like it's a privilege to be his mom.
To support the family, you can follow Paxton's Facebook page, Mighty Pip's Adventures. Reporting from Castroville, Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
We have some really remarkable young people in our area doing great things. In this week's Kids Who Make San Antonio Great, a young girl with a love for books is sharing her passion with her entire community. Rebecca Curtis is building a library for those who don't have access to literature. But as KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno found out, this is not the first time she's fought illiteracy.
In her garage is where you can find Rebecca Curtis sorting through books.
I'm collecting from baby books all the way to adult books.
This small collection is part of her Girl Scouts Gold Award project called Quality Books for Quality Life, where she's working to build a library for families at Presbyterian Children's Homes and Services.
My goal is to give them enough books for a real library so that they're always accessible to residents there.
Her generous heart, something her mom says she adopted at an early age.
Well, Rebecca's always been very empathetic, very tender-hearted girl. And I think between her accident, just the 1.5 years of recovery that she went through, I think it helped to open her eyes even more to the needs of others.
When Rebecca was 10, a major accident in her backyard forced her to undergo 2 surgeries here in San Antonio.
I fell off the zip line in our backyard. I snapped the head off my femur and I broke both bones in my wrist.
But the accident would cause her to develop a bone disease that would require 2 other surgeries in Baltimore. That's when she first leaned on books for entertainment and therapy.
I love books. They're just a bit of an escape, I suppose, but I found that a nice thing to do while I was in recovery.
But she found the hospitality home in Baltimore where she was recovering didn't have many books.
They had lots of movies, but no children's books.
So thanks to the generosity of her family and friends back in Texas, the then 10-year-old began collecting books to leave behind.
I put together a little library for the hospitality house there in Baltimore.
So when her sweet 16th birthday rolled around this year, it was no surprise that Rebecca asked for books for her service project instead of gifts.
I'm very well provided for, so I didn't need more gifts, and it was just a good way to raise books.
A heart of gold, only growing through the years, making Rebecca a kid who makes San Antonio great. Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
Hey, have you ever wondered what could be buried underneath your home? People are finding treasures from the turn of the century underground.
Yeah, especially around here. Our Alicia Niava has learned while these discoveries may not be worth millions, it's the stories they tell that are priceless.
In one of the oldest neighborhoods in San Antonio.
We are in La Vaca neighborhood.
Adam Alvarado was doing some gardening when he found something unusual.
It's probably the very early 1900s.
A coin with an inscription he didn't recognize.
It just says, John Brady's Parlor Bar, I owe you one drink.
The John Brady Saloon was located in the Solomon Deutsch building in Main Plaza, sitting face to face with San Fernando Cathedral. It was a bustling business that shut down during Prohibition.
No more than 1,000 were probably made, from what I'm told. So it definitely sparked my curiosity to what else could be lying underneath our yard here.
That same interest fueled Sean Ward's favorite pastime.
I'm what I call an expert hobbyist. My grandfather was a coin collector, and he got me interested in that hobby.
Using a wireless metal detector, headphones, and a pinpointer, he explores historic neighborhoods across town, chasing the sound of his next discovery.
Indian head penny, 1879. I had some Mexican one centavos from the 1880s. I found a Civil War musket ball, Civil War mini ball.
We had to tag along as he searched 2 properties in the Monticello Park Historic District.
Home to many prominent families back in the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Jason Vasquez, vice president of the Jefferson Neighborhood Association, says the movers and shakers of San Antonio ruled this neighborhood.
The house next door was the home of the Lucchese family of the Lucchese Boot Company. This home here was the home of the Orsinger family, which had some of the first auto dealerships for San Antonio back in the 20s, 30s.
With a crowd like that, surely we'd find something.
That's called a coin spill.
We did. Several coins. The oldest, a 1941 wheat cent.
Anything of value I'd like to know about, yes, or anything of interest I'd like to know about.
Our second property in Monticello Park belongs to David McElmore.
I lived in this home for 27 years.
He says it's the former bishop's home of the Southwestern Conference of the Methodist Church, built in 1935.
Floyd Curl was very active in creation of the South Texas Medical Center. Hence the name of the street that goes into the medical center. They lived here for quite a while.
A quick scan through the front and backyard, over a spot where a swimming pool used to be. A few more coins signaled us underground. How much are they worth?
I found an old seated Liberty dime recently, 1890. How much that one was worth? Maybe in the $30 or $40 range.
Back in Lavaca, Adam got an estimate for the value of his coin from the saloon.
Even in this condition, it's probably worth about $100 to $125.
He decided to keep it. To Adam, the true value will be much more than dollars and cents.
Maybe hang it on the wall or something like that, so that it's a conversation piece for sure.
Alicia Nieves, KENS 5.
We're going to meet the man behind the scenes, keeping the lanes at Oak Hills operating for decades. Next, I sit down with the master mechanic in a story you don't want to miss.
Or you certainly don't want to miss that one. Plus, a Castle Hill spot serving up delicious Latin food with a little bit of Miami flair. KENS 5's Vinny Vanzetta shows us Bilia Eatery after the break.
Hey everyone, it's Phil and Isis here to wish you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
You know, Christmas time is always filled with such wonderful memories for our family, but perhaps the most significant Christmas memory was the year our family became complete.
That year, we were eagerly awaiting the birth of our 3rd child. Thankfully, he came in the nick of time just before Christmas Day.
We were able to celebrate at home that Christmas, and through the years, it continues to be our favorite holiday of the year.
Happy holidays from our family to yours, and happy holidays from KENS 5.
Family certainly is everything. And hey, you know, every once in a while, you hear about someone that's just really good at their job, or maybe they've even been there for forever.
Well, this is one of those things, too. I ran across a man who, as far as his work is concerned, is in a league of his own.
Are you okay with lane 18?
Come on, Cat. Ticket number 25, your order's ready at the snack bar.
It's a Thursday night at Oak Hills Lanes. Balls rumble down the alley, slamming into pins like lightning in a Texas thunderstorm. And in the Oak Room,
Come on, Hiram. Let's go, Hiram.
Hiram Walker is on a roll.
Yeah, there you go.
Walker might be the most well-known person in the alley.
Billy, you're supposed to hit the head pin.
He bowls in several leagues. He's pretty good, too. He carries a 172 average. But his fame goes beyond the lanes.
Well, I went to school. I had school for 1 week. And they told me, oh, the rest of you have to learn on your own.
Hiram is the man behind the curtain, and he's had plenty of time to learn everything.
Sometimes they stick. Yeah, it was 1968, July 31st.
He's been the bowling alley's master mechanic for 56 years.
So I came over here and talked to her and said, I need a mechanic. Think you can come to work for me? I say, sure.
She offered you more money?
Yeah, she offered me more money, so I've been here ever since.
When he started, bowling was about 35 cents a game. It's apparently been a match made in heaven.
I like working on the machines and stuff like that, and the pay is good.
Don't forget bowlers.
It also paid off in a way Hiram never saw coming when he made that first approach.
Also, our bar is open for your convenience.
He's one of a kind. He's one of a kind.
This is Callista, Hiram's wife. You might say Oak Hills is their lover's lane.
Yes, I picked up my husband here.
Callista has worked here almost 45 years. First in the nursery, then the snack bar. Now,
You want a shot?
she just bartends one day a week.
You gonna leave it open? He works the back and I work up here, so that's how we got along. You stay there, we get stay up here, we get along good.
When the league's bowling, I watch everything.
Hiram knows he doesn't have to work. Like most of us, though, he does need it.
He's not ready to retire. I see that. You know, he likes this too much.
Keeps me going. I have something to do.
At any given moment of the day, you can find Hiram literally up to his elbows in a machine.
Now turn it on and see if it works.
Technology has made things a lot easier.
I put the machine down in it, push a button.
For starters, no more hand sanding and buffing the lanes.
It cleans them, buffs them, oils them, comes back, and goes to the next lane. While that's doing the lanes, I can do all the other stuff.
At 82, though, things naturally get a little tougher. So Hiram is making sure the pins are set for the next frame.
I almost seem like my grandfather.
Angel De Leon is also a mechanic.
Hiram taught me so much that when I got sent to school, I was actually helping the instructor teach the students there.
He's learning and knows Hiram is always just a phone call away.
Yeah, we'll keep him on the speed dial.
So does the owner, Connie Gillette. She also knows one day she'll be the one getting the call.
I wouldn't blame him. He's earned his retirement. I would miss him dearly.
Hiram knows that day's coming too, just not tomorrow.
Well, maybe a couple more years.
For now, heading into his 7th decade here, Hiram is still rolling along and says he has no intention to split anytime soon.
That's what somebody told me. What they gonna do when you leave?
One more and you get a beer.
I bet you never thought of this, but someone did. Mixing South Texas barbecue with Miami South Beach ingredients. Boy, and it turned out to be a hit.
Yeah, it's the perfect flavor marriage in Castle Hills. Vinny Vanzetta has this week's Neighborhood Eats.
It's all very influenced by basically all of Latin America. A little Cuban, a little Colombian, a little Venezuelan, Argentinian, Peruvian, all that.
Born 5 years ago, all the way from South Beach to South Texas, it's Billy Eatery.
Once we moved to San Antonio 5 years ago from Miami, we decided we feel like San Antonio's missing a little more Latin flavor.
We know our Mexican food in San Antonio, and Brian says that's what makes his eatery work. It's in the neighborhood.
We use black beans, and I'm not saying they're the same as pinto beans, but I feel like there's similarities that you don't have to go so far. Like we do arepas, very similar to a gordita. I feel like we have a little bit for everybody. More black beans, more rice, a little bit of everything that I grew up with.
Sounds good to me. Let's go to work.
So I've cheated, already taken a bite, but this is the signature, the Cuban.
It's very popular. People really know us for our Cuban sandwich.
The Cuban. I mean, you can't go to an eatery in San Antonio and not have barbacoa. I mean, let's go.
It's almost like a jalapeno popper in a sandwich.
I'm going. San Antonio, it's the Havana Bowl with brisket beef. Are you kidding me?
A personal favorite. I grew up on rice and beans, so it's the heart for me.
And to wash it all down, How about some guava limeade? Really? Yep. Oh, that is seriously, that is like perfecto.
Castle Hills has accepted us with open arms, and we've really been happy to be here. We're here to stay. Yeah, we definitely love San Antonio. We don't have the beach like Miami does. That's why we wanted to open this, to make it feel like we're still in a little bit of Miami.
It's food that's fun. Vinny Vanzetta, KENS 5.
Buckle up, we're going for a little ride in Texas outdoors.
In the next few minutes, we're going to take you inside a place where you can experience the thrill of the racetrack through the power of technology.
Brianna Young brings valuable experience to class, helping shape the leader she is today at Judson Early College Academy. When the principal's gone, they call on Young to lead the entire campus. Judson ISD nominated her for the KENS 5 Excel Award.
I was born in Longview, Texas, so we had a garden, we had goats, sheep, cows. My little hidden secret, but I'm a country girl at heart, so.
Deep in the heart of this Texas girl, Brianna Young has a special place for children.
She's transformed special education instruction on our campus.
To many of these kids at Judson Early College Academy, Young is more than a special education teacher. She's also a mentor.
When I first came here, she was like a major help, having someone to go to if I'm ever struggling.
Special education is a field that not everybody knows that much about, but we're expected to know a lot of answers.
Young says she understands raising a child with a disability is complicated.
The complexities that go into that as far as like accessing medication and having insurance. Some of them are the first in their families to graduate from college.
How does that make you feel to see them graduating?
So good. I cry pretty much at every graduation because they did it. They did it.
Sarah Forgani, KENS 5.
Now, if you play video games, you know technology has taken things to a whole new level. Now, there's a sim racing facility in New Braunfels where technology will put you virtually in the seat of a Formula One race car. And in this Texas Outdoors, we take off to Oasis Sim Racing.
We didn't know how fast the community would gravitate towards it. It's been tremendous.
To say this place is on the fast track is a bit of an understatement. Reed Lincoln turned his passion into profits.
When I first started getting into sim racing, one of the things that I struggled with, there was no place to try anything out.
Oasis offers you an experience you can't get without actually buckling up.
On the steering wheel, you're going to get the force feedback like you would in your normal car as well. So to a degree, I mean, it is no different than you driving your normal car like you did here today.
The simulators allow you to speed around most any racetrack in the world.
The motion platform, everything is so fine-tuned. We can feel the difference of running over grass to running over brick to running over asphalt. I mean, these machines they're incredible at what they're capable of.
I love racing and couldn't wait to sit down and fire up the engine.
So we got upshift, downshift, and then...
Wait.
Yep.
Where's upshift?
The
upshift,
paddles,
downshift?
Yep, up and down. So
oh, wow.
Right now you're in reverse, so go up and then one more, and now you're in first gear.
It's so realistic, the movement of the seat, the video flying all around me. I only lasted for about 4 or 5 laps.
Holy cow.
It gets you good, huh?
I got to get out of it a minute.
Yeah?
You know, it's amazing me. It makes me seasick.
Which gave our photographer, Axel, who has his sim racing setup at home, a chance to really test the system.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You feel everything. It's crazy. You know, I'm just used to, like, sitting in a still chair and to race with the actual, like, elements and the braking and feeling every turn. It's a lot immersive, but it's a lot harder to drive. Like, you get a real good experience with this.
Your whole family can enjoy this. There's no age restriction. Lincoln says he's done bachelor parties, corporate events, birthday parties.
It feels like you're really in there.
That's our goal.
If you want to race, but you don't want the risk, this just might be your oasis.
watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
Right at 6 on this Christmas morning. Welcome to KENS 5, and thanks so much for spending your holiday with us.
Yeah, this morning we're diving into some of our favorite stories from the past year. And a San Antonio teen has made it her mission to get essential information to those coming across the border. She's just one of the many kids who make San Antonio great.
And at this store, there's something here for everyone. We're taking you to the state surplus store where piles of goods are left behind. We'll show you the deals you can score inside.
Artificial intelligence had a big year in 2024, and as we head into the new year, AI will continue to be a dominant theme across many industries.
From self-driving cars to writing essays, AI is being used for just about everything. KENS 5's Isis Romero tests out one way it's being used for AI headshots.
Say cheese. If you've ever had a professional picture taken, you might agree. The process can be painstaking and pricey. So enter a seemingly simple solution, AI headshots.
All eyes are on generative AI right now. And I think that is going to be a hot topic for the next 10 years at least.
Experts say AI headshots are having their moment, and it's hard to deny their popularity. With so many options, we tried 3 services for ourselves: Headshot Pro, Try It On AI, and Dreamwave AI. For our test, we relied on a willing newsroom volunteer, KENS 5 digital producer Darcy Ramirez. Each platform works about the same. Upload a series of real photos, pay the fee, then wait for the results. Once we had them, I asked Darcy's cubicle mates, David and Luke, to help analyze the images.
You ready to see your results? Yes. Yes? Okay. So the first one we're going to start with is a platform called Headshot Pro. What do we think of Headshot Pro?
I don't think they look like me.
Especially the different hairstyles. Like that one right there kind of looks more like my hairstyle.
It felt to me like it was just plopping your head on somebody else's body. The next one is Try It On AI. This was the cheapest of the 3 platforms. What did you think?
I feel like it's definitely AI, but there are some where I'm like, that is not, I don't feel like I look anything like that.
If you look really carefully, there's little intricacies in the photo where you can tell it's clearly AI. Look how the nose is a little separated from her face right here.
And some of the eyes too, just maybe they just seem a little tired.
Our third platform is a platform called Dreamwave AI, and they claim to give you AI headshots without the AI look for $35. And I gotta say, I think of all the platforms that we've tried, these to me look the most realistic.
All of them with the smile, it's pretty close.
I think if the eyes are the window to the soul, then Dreamwave is the window to lifelike AI.
It could probably most definitely pass as me, especially if you don't see me every day.
All in all, the experiment was fun, but Darcy wasn't so impressed with the results, which begs the question, just because someone can use AI headshots, does it mean they should?
Chin slightly down.
Local branding and marketing experts Alejandra and Jason Bryant say using AI professionally can be a problem.
From an employer standpoint, if I'm seeing this image that's not really you, it can compromise the trust that you're trying to build.
The Bryants say AI removes authenticity and may even cause someone to question your credibility.
If I worked so hard on my resume to have something impressive that's taken years to get to this point, why am I now going to water it down with something that can now taint it as far as being ethical?
Aside from the ethics of AI headshots, as we saw with Darcy, the other downside is the accuracy. They just can't capture you quite like a camera.
It's like a clone of you, and it doesn't have that same imperfections like a birthmark or a scar. It's not going to have that. I want a fresh smile. Don't be giving me...
The Bryants describe their sessions as a celebration, guiding their clients through the uneasiness of taking a photo to unveil a confident and comfortable you.
Are you ready to see your real photo?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Darcy?
I think I would put them on my LinkedIn immediately.
Yeah.
They're great.
A San Antonio teen has made it her mission to get what she sees as essential information to those coming across the border. her compassion always shining through her work. KENS 5's Audrey Castoreno has more on this kid who makes San Antonio great.
We've all seen the images, migrants crossing the border with hopes of a better life for their children. For 16-year-old Maya Lopez, she personally knows the stories of these migrants.
My family is from El Paso, and my mother and my aunt and my grandparents immigrated here from Mexico.
So when it came time for this Girl Scout to think about starting her Gold Award project, the border and the families who have traveled so many miles for something better weighed on her heart.
I wanted to help them, even if it was just providing some information, because I knew that they're very susceptible to being trafficked, and they're a very vulnerable population.
So she got to work on her computer, putting together essential information.
What we wanted to make was a cultural orientation to the United States.
Information those new to the country might not know.
So we called it the orientación cultural.
Her pamphlet covering everything from interactions with police officers, food assistants, basic English phrases, as well as warnings.
This whole section is about how to avoid being trafficked. That was a really important topic I wanted to focus on, because they're so susceptible because they're new and they don't know the language. And so we ended up putting a picture of the universal sign for help.
Her family's church in El Paso reviewing the handout and wanting a draft right away.
They were immediately on board with it, and they wanted to use it immediately.
The sophomore in high school rushing to get the details finalized so the congregation could begin offering them to families who have just arrived.
Very glad that I finished it and that I got to help a lot of people, and that the church was very grateful for it.
Earning Maya her Gold Award in Girl Scouting, but also a newfound passion for helping those looking for a better life.
I want to continue to serve vulnerable populations especially, and because of my family was immigrated here, so I want to try to help out people like them.
Making Maya Lopez a kid who makes San Antonio great. Audrey Castoreno, KENS 5.
All right, this would have been a great place to Christmas shop. Have you ever wondered what happens to all the things left at Texas airports, from knives to corkscrews, power tools, yeah, believe it or not, power tools, luggage, jewelry, everything is shipped to the state surplus store in Austin, where it's cheaply resold. KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez took a short drive up I-35 to see what deals he could find.
Every year, tens of thousands of knives come to the Texas surplus store in Austin. You can find a variety of items on sale, from retired state assets like desks, chairs, office supplies, power cords, power tools, artwork, lottery ball machines, confiscated slot machines, even vehicles.
Last year we had an aircraft from DPS sell for $1 million.
They also carry all things surrendered or left at TSA checkpoints.
You, for example, take off your jewelry and you forget to pick it back up, or you leave it in your carry-on. All of those types of items.
The Texas Surplus Store is open to the public. Christy Fierro, director of the State Surplus Program, says the storefront and online auctions stay busy year-round, with customers of all ages out to find a deal.
Any customer type that you can imagine finds their way here, and we enjoy them. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It keeps the day very vibrant.
Fierro says their top item
is your knives and sharp objects or anything that could be used as a weapon.
Those are most frequently taken by TSA agents and end up in their hands, and they have a lot.
We filled this up this morning. By tomorrow morning, it probably won't look anything like this. Sometimes people get upset that we don't fill them enough.
Jeffrey Neely, program specialist, says one of his favorite jobs is sorting the knives.
Definitely one of my favorite. It's pretty interesting. I come to it, it's pretty fun. Just the wide variety of things we find, it makes it entertaining for sure.
Most knives sell for just $1, but some can cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars.
USA S45 VN still retails for
A little over 5.
But there's also things state agencies hand over too.
Think of anything that a state agency retires or no longer has a need for.
Among those, cars.
Behind me is the vehicle lot here at Balm Road at our state surplus store. And it is basically an example of all types of different vehicles that come from all state agencies within the Austin area.
Hundreds of vehicles are sold a year, and mainly through an online auction, with bids from hundreds of dollars to thousands. Some are sold on site. Their most popular vehicle is the DPS Tahoe.
We have a lot of first-time car buyers. We have a lot of second vehicle buyers. We have a lot of farm buyers that want a truck for the ranch. So really there's just a huge range of customers for this type of vehicle.
The store also features a massive warehouse. Fierro says you'll be surprised at what you can find at the surplus store, and all priced to move. All the money made goes back into covering operational costs.
So long-term investments for the program to make us stronger and better to serve the people of Texas.
So next time you're in Austin and want a unique shopping experience, take some time to visit. You just never know what treasure you might find. Micah Minnis, KENS 5.
You're going to want to stick around to check this out. A world of color inside a Kerrville home. Coming up, we take you inside to meet the man behind an impressive collection of crayons.
And can you dig it? That's the point of this next story. Just about anything you want, Dig World has. We'll take you there in the Texas Outdoors after the break.
On November 16th, 1966, I got an early Christmas present, my baby brother Cliff. And if you look carefully at the photo, you'll see I also got on that very same day a broken arm. So what did my parents get us for Christmas that year? A trampoline. I don't know what they were thinking, but from then until now, trampolines have pretty much always been a part of my life. I am San Antonio's own Sue Calbird, wishing all of the KENS 5 family a happy holiday.
Hey friends, take a trip with me back to the year 1903. The Wright brothers invented the airplane. Companies like Ford, Buick, and Harley-Davidson had just launched. Hershey opened the largest chocolate manufacturing plant on the planet, and crayon made its official debut. We met a local artist whose love for Crayola began with a little curiosity, and as his collection grew, he began to pursue one color in particular. It seemed impossible to find until he went on his routine visit to the thrift store. Our Alicia Nieves takes it from there.
Inside this Kerr County home with forest green trim, there's a world of color.
Welcome to the house where we have wax to the max.
I can eat and sleep those things, just unreal.
Richard Gwynn has been collecting crayons for more than 20 years.
2, 3, 4.
These are the Target series only. This little case right here, these are just general boxes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now we're up to box of 32.
He's in a constant hunt for the next vivid hue.
I want to compare that to maybe a hunter. It's not what he takes in his game, is the process to locate that game.
These are the oldest that I have.
864 Crayola boxes and tins sit proudly in 19 display cases.
That is a very rare box.
Color-coordinated crates showcase hundreds more Crayolas that fill the air with their waxy aroma.
Highest pigmented for the money.
It's a collection that began in 2003.
Right here,
Richard found an early 90s Crayola tin and wondered, were there more where it came from?
It's 2024. Richard, how many crayons do you have in your house?
Okay, that's a very good question. Well over 49,000.
To him, every box tells a story.
That's 1917 and 1919.
He gets most of his crayons from garage sales, estate sales, and thrift stores.
They save all the crayons for me.
In a special case, sitting outside their protective box is a row of colors with discontinued names.
It took me forever to just get that one.
Featuring his most rare find of all.
The second one in is the torch red, what is now scarlet, and it's just got a different label on it.
Richard doesn't just collect, he creates.
There's a couple that I use that are hard to come by. One of them is called Smoke.
Every summer, he teaches children how crayons can make magic on paper.
I have kids that just grab a crayon and just go like this.
Now, Richard's on the hunt for his next unique discovery.
What is your dream find?
Well, right now it is the original 58 pristine box of 64.
In 120 years, change is inevitable. As other inventions evolved, this 83-year-old is as thrilled as ever that the regular wax crayon is still alive and well.
This might be an unfair question. Do you have a favorite color crayon?
You know, I do. It's probably going to be asparagus. It's that deep green.
Alicia Nieves, KENS 5.
Every kid, and realistically some of us big kids, see big construction equipment and think, well, wouldn't that be cool to run that? And wouldn't it be great if there was a construction theme park? Well, there is in Katy, Texas, and I took my 9-year-old son Micah to check it out in this Texas Outdoors.
The greatest noise to me that I hear are tears when they're leaving. Now, parents, you have to deal with that when you get in the car. But for me, if a kid is kicking and screaming leaving, we've done our job.
I wanted to kick and scream when we had to leave. Dig World is the place every little kid dreams of.
Hey, why not a construction theme park? Because that's a logical thing, right?
Allowing a little kid to run a real piece of construction equipment is so crazy, it's almost genius.
We're super blessed that people have come from quite literally all around the world to be at our park here.
Kids stand in line just like at any other theme park to run an excavator, drive a skid steer, or try to drop a tennis ball into a barrel from the top of a 40-foot man lift. My son Micah has always been fascinated with heavy equipment, and he couldn't wait for his turn.
There you go to the right, that bucket's gonna open up. Hey, you got it so far?
It was surprising how quickly Micah grasped how to operate the excavator.
Look what I did, Dad, look! Look down in that ditch! I made it smooth!
Since he was doing so well, and I have a little construction background, I thought, I need to see how well I can do it.
Turn it to the left. That's gonna curl your bucket.
Okay.
To the right, it's gonna open your bucket up.
All right.
Your left-handed one is your secondary boom connected to the bucket.
That'd be rather erratic. It was all rather erratic. While Micah was buzzing right along, I seemed to be struggling. Oh, man. Oh, bro, where am I?
Micah, you're a lot better at this than I am.
We ran them for a while, then decided it was time to take a lap on the skid steer. That was pretty easy for me. I've run one quite a bit, but Micah was having a blast. Then we went over to the excavator games, where you have to pick up a Lego or a cone or a goose decoy. It was hard enough we had to team up on it, and it took us a while, but we finally managed to hook one. There's also a UTV the kids can drive, which is a big hit with them, of course, and a 40-foot man lift where you have to drop a ball into a barrel, and if you make it, you win a popsicle.
So what are we doing now?
Getting popsicle?
A popsicle? You only have one ticket.
Yeah, for me.
Well, what are you gonna eat?
A popsicle?
What am I gonna eat?
Nothing.
Still ahead, one local restaurant serving up comfort food with a human touch. Vinny Vanzetta is digging in at Comfort Cafe when we come back.
All right, if you're a fan of comfort food, you're certainly going to want to listen to this. There's a Northwest San Antonio restaurant serving up the goods with no set price tag.
This is so cool. Vinny Vanzetta takes us to Comfort Cafe in Neighborhood Eats.
You're thinking what I am, aren't you? If it's comfort you want, it is comfort food you get.
Our food is so fresh. You know, Wednesday we go shopping, Thursday we prep, we serve Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we repeat the next week. So it's always consistently fresh.
And glancing around the fabulous menu, did you see that? We did too. There's no pricing listed.
Yeah, and why is that? Wouldn't it be nice that they get to make a decision on the meal is good? I mean, I've had people drop $1,000 on a burger because of the whole concept.
And that concept is called Serenity Star Recovery. Their cook and wait staff are all working. Now they're also working to recover from drug and alcohol addiction.
There's no place like this. No place like this. I never, ever thought in a million years that I could say anything other than drugs and alcohol.
We want to create this safe environment for people to recover. What better way to introduce and have relations with other people than the kitchen table?
Getting people on the right side of life and serving customer comfort at the same time, win-win.
Our guests get to see the faces of recovery, looking at that food, and it's kind of like it's artwork, right?
Like yummy for my tummy.
You know what they say, sit, pray, attack.
The Crab Benny, made with homemade crab cakes. The signature stuffed French toast topped with apple pecan heaven.
If you come here for anything, come here for this.
And a stack of pumpkin pancakes topped with cream cheese drizzle and candied pecans. Get out!
Look at that. Would you just look at that? I get it. Comfort Cafe. All right, I'll go. I'm done.
Feeling comfy? Me too. Vinny Vanzetta, KENS 5.
I don't know about you, but I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah, I got to go there and eat. I just got to write it down so I don't forget. All right, coming up, a local high school student making an inclusive space for all with a little help from his bike. Next half hour, we're going to meet Zachary Carrasco, just one of the kids who makes San Antonio great.
You're watching San Antonio's own KENS 5 News this morning.
Good morning and welcome back to KENS 5. We hope you're having a very Merry Christmas morning. Thanks for joining us at 6:30.
Yeah, hopefully your day's off to a special start. Thanks for being with us as you start that day. Expect a little bit different news this morning as we recap some of our favorite stories throughout this year.
A lost ring returned 6 decades after it was found. You just got to see the journey and what it took to track down the owner.
Plus, winning lottery numbers can be life-changing, but you may not realize that you can still cash in big on a losing scratch-off ticket. It's a free chance to win something else. We show you how you can score second chance Lotto Luck. But first, back in April, all of South Texas was captivated by the Great American Eclipse. Check out this video of the total solar eclipse in San Antonio. A KENS 5 viewer capturing the moments of totality in a Northwest Side neighborhood. The drone goes up just as darkness fell. And here are more pictures you shared with us, everyone from families to pets all joining in on the eclipse mania. Thousands of people flocked to the hill country to experience the day going from light to dark and light again in just a matter of minutes. KENS 5 reporter Hannah Tita shows us the cosmic event from Bernie.
A nervous tension at Main Plaza.
We are hoping for those clouds to move
A bit. Hundreds sprawled out on the lawn, every break in the clouds, breaking the silence, offering a glimmer of hope.
We're not exactly eclipse chasers, but we enjoy them very much.
Friends Mary Shea and Kathy Garsky grew up together in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
We got to see one when we were 7 years old.
1963.
they were hooked, meeting up again in 2017 to see another total solar eclipse.
It almost feels a little bit spiritual in a way. It does. I don't know. It puts you in contact with the heavens, sort of.
And Morgan Hinson wanted to document that. The photographer from San Antonio invested in a lot of new equipment.
My goal is to create like a linear collage of them.
But the weather had other plans. Though we couldn't see it, 4-year-old Lucas Landetta told us what to expect.
Sun and the moon is gonna cover the sun.
And here's what it looked like. A calm came over the city.
Watching daylight turn to dark in the matter of minutes was incredible.
So breathtaking. I really loved it.
Something that we've never seen before.
Whether it was their third time seeing this cosmic event together or their first,
It was cool.
those who marveled at a midnight sky in the afternoon told us it was well worth the trip.
Some editing and stuff like that, get kind of that cloud coverage, clear it out of there, but it'll turn out real well.
We're having fun no matter what.
No matter what.
Yes.
No matter what.
In Bernie, Hannah Tita, KENS 5.
We all, at one time or another, have lost something that means something to us. Sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes others do. This is a story about a quest that began roughly 5,500 miles from San Antonio more than 6 decades ago, and the ring at the center of it all.
You know, it was just like, well, let me look into that again.
Ed Lee has been looking for 62 years. Now 92, Lee was a 20-something-year-old airman stationed at Giebelstadt Army Airfield in Germany, which coincidentally was the home base of the famed U-2 spy plane. While out one day, something caught Lee's eye.
I looked down on the ground and there was a ring there, and I picked it up.
It was a 1959 class ring from the University of Pennsylvania. Inside, the initials RES. As hard as the young sergeant looked on base, he couldn't find the owner.
Nobody knew anybody that had lost a class ring.
So Lee put the ring away. Over the years, though, he'd come across it every now and then.
I would always think, if it was me, I'd like to have my ring back.
He tried repeatedly to find the owner, but every time he'd hit a dead end. He even reached out to the University of Pennsylvania several times.
They would tell me, oh, that's not in my department, or something to that effect.
Lee eventually retired from the Air Force and ended up the fire chief at Brooks Air Force Base in San Antonio. He also took up the hobby of making his own jewelry.
I've been tempted many times to go ahead and melt this ring, but I just never could bring myself to do it, you know.
There was something on which Lee just couldn't quite put his finger. A U.S. college ring found on German soil with a missing owner.
He had a passion for engineering and electronics, could really fix anything.
Scott is the son of Kay and Robert Edwards Sauvageau, R.E.S.
There's no family history of knowing about him having a class ring or what could have happened to it.
Bob, to his friends, was born in Wheeling, West Virginia in 1931. He had the normal American childhood, played football in high school, then enlisted in the U.S. Navy.
I think he sort of found his passion for electronics and electrical engineering in the Navy, working on radar and IFF equipment, identification friend-foe equipment.
Remember that reference to the U-2 spy plane program? After the Navy, Bob used the GI Bill to get his degree in electrical engineering at the University of Pennsylvania.
He did work exclusively for defense contractors, so that would have been from 1960 after graduating all the way through the end of his career in the 90s.
Bob and Ed were on the same base at the same time, but never met.
This ring belongs to an individual that worked hard to get it, and that I would love to be the one to get it back to that individual.
They'll never meet, not in this world. Bob passed away in 2019.
I knew that there was a possibility that the individual would not be with us any longer. Well, then it would go to his family.
Elise Betts, the executive director of UPenn's Alumni Association, helped make that happen. After confirming, they were 99% sure that ring belonged to Bob. Ed gave it to me, and we flew to Laurel, Maryland to take it home.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm really in awe. This is just incredible.
Scott says his father never spoke about being in Germany, but then he never really talked much about his work.
A lot of his work was in guidance systems and radar development. So it's very possible that he was doing classified work for the DoD.
We may never know for sure how it got there, and in the end, it doesn't really matter.
Does it fit?
Oh, I'm sure it won't fit my fingers. Actually, yeah, it does.
Wow, it does.
That's interesting. This is truly amazing.
What does matter is the ring's journey is over.
I just hope that the son of the individual will take it and cherish it and
for Ed Lee,
just love it.
Mission accomplished. Barry Davis, KENS 5.
You know, tens of millions of scratch-off tickets are bought every single year right here in Texas. And as we've seen pretty recently in our area, some may strike it rich, while most of those tickets end up in the can.
Yeah, I haven't hit yet.
Me
but
either.
As KENS 5's Jeremy Baker shows us, some of those tickets do have an extra chance to win.
It's called the Second Chance Lotto, or the Luck Zone. If you don't win a prize on the front of the ticket, don't toss it out. On the back is another chance for you to hit it big. It just takes a little more work.
If a player plays one of those tickets and they have a non-winning ticket, so they don't win a cash prize on the scratch ticket, then they can go again to the website or to the mobile app, enter a certain code from that ticket onto the site.
And within a few weeks, that player could be notified that they are a huge second chance winner.
There's no reason not to. If you already bought your ticket and you didn't win that primary prize, then definitely enter it.
Meet Jeff and his good friend Michelle and Rick and his niece Mandy. Both pairs love scratch-off lottery tickets, and unlike many of us, after scratching away the entire card, came up with nothing. But unlike many lottery players, they didn't just stop there and throw away the card. They flipped those cards and entered the Luck Zone, a second chance lotto, and came away big-time winners.
I buy them because they're second chances, and there's only a handful, not all of them are second chance. There was other prizes and things, and just happened to win the top prize.
That top prize, a trip to see Luke Combs, thanks to the Living Lucky with Luke Combs' $10 scratcher. Rick Leal got to go too.
It was great. They were very good hosts. The accommodations were fine other than the work that was being done on the hotel, but they treated us like royalty. It was really a lot of fun.
A $13,000 all expenses paid trip. Not a bad haul for spending $10. Each scratch-off ticket entered in the Luck Zone drawing can be used only one time. Once you fill out the back and send it in, you don't have to keep the rest of the ticket. You can throw it away, so you don't have to keep track of it, and you can enter any Luck Zone drawing as many times as you wish, but you have to buy a new scratcher every time. Our winner's advice about playing the second chance games:
it's a free chance to win something else. A lot of people just discard those tickets.
I don't want them to do it. Less people enter, it's more chance for me.
More chances for us to win.
To find out more about the Luck Zone and your second chance at winning, we have a link to the Texas Lottery website with this story on KENS5.com. Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.
All right, so there you have it, Barry. Don't throw out that ticket. You got to check and make sure. Maybe you might have a prize.
I have a cousin who's won tons of things on the second chance drawings. I mean, all the time.
Make sure you check before you toss it out.
All right, we're going to take a sweet ride with a group of local car enthusiasts after the break. We're going to share the story of lowriders and how they play a big part in Hispanic culture.
A Taft High School student creates an inclusive space with a little help from his bike. KENS 5's Audrey Casareno introduces us to this kid who makes San Antonio great.
All right.
Here we go.
Each week, a group of TAF students hop on their bikes to ride.
I love how people of all ages, are still riding the trails. That's my favorite part.
The team, led by founder 15-year-old Zachary Carrasco.
It's a great day.
For Zachary, it's always a great day when he's riding.
At the age of 3, I was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect, which restricted me to doing a lot of impact sports. So I guess the whole thing about me not playing football and soccer, I kind of wanted to start my own club, which includes everybody. The next dirt trail, take it.
Starting his first bike club in middle school and continuing it with the Mayor's Fitness Challenge and development of the TAF High School Bike Club.
Getting those kiddos out of their comfort zones and teaching them more about biking and the outdoors, because life right now is all about technology, so getting everybody out there.
The 15-year-old seeing more kids getting interested in his favorite pastime.
They've been starting to get out more, and I guess a lot of people in band or ROTC are joining, so it's getting them more of prepping themselves for whether it's marching season coming up or when they have competitions for ROTC.
His bike club, now 2 years rolling, and getting recognition from the mayor.
For me to get recognized because I'm doing the right thing makes me feel good about myself, knowing that people care about what we're doing and our mission to getting a healthier San Antonio, getting a healthier TAF community. Say hi to the camera.
Making Zachary Carrasco a kid who makes San Antonio great. Audrey Casoreno, KENS 5.
We Americans, as a whole, have always had a fascination with cars. In the 40s, Hispanic veterans returning from World War II started a craze of low and slow that to this day is still going strong. We're about to take y'all along for a cruise with San Antonio's Lowriders.
There aren't many things more American than the automobile. And the things we can do with them will drop more than your jaw.
We can see, like in Japan, there's a lowrider movement. And even in Monterrey, Mexico, there's a lowrider movement. And all the aesthetics of all of that are really informed by places like San Antonio or places like Los Angeles.
And there aren't many places where low and slow is more embraced than San Antonio.
I just love it. I love what I do. I love my job. I get paid for doing this now.
It's such a part of Hispanic culture, there's an entire industry built around building lowriders.
When I was a little kid, just a little boy, and from there, I started building lowrider bikes. From lowrider bikes, now I build lowriders for a living. That's what I do.
Bazan Styles turned his passion into his profession.
I painted that one. I do a lot of lowriders. That's what I do. That's my job.
There are at least half a dozen lowrider clubs in San Antonio.
When it's time to get away from the world, get in the car.
Joe Guardiola loves the lowrider.
Gets the oil from the tank and it sends it through the hoses to the cylinders, and that's what moves the car.
His 63 Impala turns heads. Then when he pops the hood.
We go to a lot of the car shows, and most of the car shows you'll see like a LS swap, you know, your big 350 engines and all that. And I was like, well, I want to do the same thing, but I want to do it different.
There's more chrome in here than in a Pilot truck stop parking lot. And the fact it's a 6-cylinder blows people away.
I knew it was different, but at the same time it looked smooth and it had the body shape with it.
Carlos Munoz has had several lowriders, but his 72 Monte Carlo is his favorite so far. Like the others, lowriders have always been a part of his life.
In high school, I would skateboard a lot, and we'd be out in the streets, and we'd see all these nice lowriders, and then our friends they'd start building their cars, and we just wanted to do the same thing.
These cars are tricked out with amazing hydraulics that can lift or lower the car in any direction you can imagine.
Just tap it, tap it. That's the front, tap it. Just tap it. One, okay, right there, locked up. Now hit the back. Tap it. Oh, I see. Tap it, right there. Now drop it.
This is what most people think when they see a lowrider, but they're more than hydraulics, shiny wheels, and tricked out interiors.
She kissed me the last kiss.
Yeah.
And that day, I feel that kiss. And about the next day, she got killed.
Many have become much more personal. There are intricate paint jobs dedicated to loved ones who have passed, or experiences they've had, or maybe even family history.
When it becomes your car, now it's your hieroglyph. Now you're telling the story, and if someone finds that car, they're going to be able to know something about you.
I have a 68 Impala Fastback.
Mary Alice Carranza is one of the ladies de Lowriders. She has 3 cars, and she's not riding shotgun.
Now I cruise with him. I'm not going to be the passenger, I'm going to be the driver.
Her 65 Impala looks like it just rolled off the showroom floor. The 72, a little more estilo.
She's a head turner for everybody.
Geraldine Tejano went old school. She loves her 37 Chevy, but in true Chicana style, it had to be dropped.
I like the way the stance looks low. The stance on it is just, it gives it that look, gives it that beauty.
Old, new, classic, or conversion, they're all beauties. They all tell a story.
Honestly, I'm gonna tear it all down, and next year I'm gonna tear it all down and do a whole frame off.
Some stories just never end. Others know exactly where they want to go.
You can't really you can't, if you start looking at, well, how much is this gonna cost? Don't do it.
If you do, just remember, do it low and slow. On the South Side, Barry Davis, KENS 5.
Some pretty sweet rides there, Barry.
I could have stayed out there all day, and we stayed pretty late into the night with them. It was cool.
Super cool to see. All right, friends, stay with us. We'll be right back.
So I always love Christmas time. It always was a great time to get together with families. What I remember a lot is the food. We always had lots of tamales, and then into the new year we had buñuelos, so love that, along with the noodle. But probably one of the Christmases that sticks out the most is the year my sister and I got a pink Barbie Jeep. I remember fighting over who was gonna drive it first, but that one will always stick out to me. So hope everyone has a great Christmas and happy holidays from KENS 5.
All right, so after all the presents are unwrapped, you've cleaned up all the paper, maybe you've already had Christmas dinner. If you're looking for something to do, the Rock at La Cantera has a free event that is sure to get you into the holiday spirit.
Yeah, this is really cool. It's called Winter Fest, if you haven't checked it out. The inaugural event has a skating rink, warming stations, free treats like popcorn and s'mores. What better activity for the kiddos, right? The free event is being held at Frost Plaza and runs through January 6th, so don't worry, you still got some time to check it out.
All right, you can call this the great debate. When it comes to tamales, whose do you think reigns supreme in San Antonio?
Well, our Sarah Duran was challenged to find out with help from some of our colleagues here at KENS 5. Check it out.
Hey there, we asked you who has the best tamales in San Antonio, and you didn't hesitate to respond. You told us on social media your favorite, and while some of you agreed in the comments, others not so much. So we wanted to settle the debate. Who has San Antonio's top tamale? Let's find out.
We got 2. We got 3.
I narrowed it down to your top 3 tamale spots and put our KENS 5 News team to a taste test.
The lard to masa ratio.
Here's the thing. I didn't tell them who each mystery tamale belonged to. I wanted their honest thoughts.
So,
Quote,
right.
And most authentic reaction to the masa and pork flavored filling.
That's so good. I think we have our winner. Yeah. What about you, Earl?
I'm feeling 3.
But of course, I'll let you in on the secret. 1 was Tamale Boy, 2 was Delia's Tamales, and 3 was Tea's Tamales. I'll vote for 1. Voting was fierce. 3.
Number 2 is by far, in my opinion, superior.
Where's my star? And it almost ended in a tiebreaker. There you go. The last vote of the tamale tasting contest here at KENS 5. Sue, you were our last voter. Congratulations. Well, tamale number 3 won Sue's vote.
8
9, 10, number 1.
Pork tamale number 1 dominated at the polls.
Tamale boy.
By your recommendations and the votes from our hungry journalists, we declare San Antonio's own Tamale Boy as the winner of KENS 5's Top Tamale.
Alrighty, Juan, well, we decided at KENS 5 that you had the best pork tamale, so I wanted to present you with this plaque for Tamale Boy for 2024.
Come on, somebody, look at this, y'all. Top Tamale Boy 2024, I love it.
So I gotta know, what do you put into it that makes it so good?
A lot of hard work, tears, just constantly trying to make sure that we produce the toppest quality in all of Texas, you know what I'm saying?
And I do. You can taste the quality in each bite, a recipe inspired by his mom and grandma. Try it for yourself today at Tamale Boy's location at 5300 South Flores.
Congratulations on winning Top Tamale from KENS 5.
That is so cool, man. You guys are awesome.
Hey, we want to take this time to say thank you so much for joining us here this morning on KENS 5.
Yeah, we hope you have a great rest of your Christmas day. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and the happiest of holidays.